What if I told you that emotions are just energy? And I watched a YouTube video, it was a TEDx, it was an old video by a guy called Allan Watkins. And he spoke about emotions and why we have emotions. Because for me personally, I'm quite an emotional person. And I've always seen it as quite a negative thing to be emotional. Because also on the flip side, I'm a very logical person. I'm extremely logical until I get emotional, and then I do rash things. And this guy Alan actually gave such a great definition. Well, it's actually crazy. I had no idea it actually meant this, but emotions is just energy in motion. Emotion. And I don't know, like, I haven't gone and done a whole bunch more research, but that sounds about right. And the way that he described it, which I thought, firstly, I've just been from gym, so that's why I'm so hot and sweaty. But back to it. So the way that he described emotion is, it's basically your body's response to something, to exterior or interior thought or action. And basically it's like a physical, your body sending energy. So it could be sweaty palms if you're nervous, or blood flowing to your muscles, or your cheeks getting rosy. So it's actually your body sending energy. And it's not to be, what he says, which is also was very interesting, is not to be confused with feelings. So emotion is energy that your body sends signals to do certain things. And feelings is how your brain perceives that energy or the exterior world. I'm not exactly sure, but it's basically feelings as a result of the emotion. So I like to personally break things down to like old school caveman primitive days, and it's something I've done quite a lot lately, and I've really found it helpful because I feel that humans have existed for so long without phones and technology, and the way that we're living now is very different to the way that humans have evolved. I mean, I'm not talking about like proper evolution. I'm just saying like over the past like maybe like 4,000 years or whatever. And humans aren't used to technology and stuff. So, okay, so let's go back to emotion. So I've also understood from watching a couple of videos and reading up that you've got emotional intelligence, and you've got logical intelligence. I don't know if it's IQ and EQ, but basically you've got an emotional brain and a logical brain. And the emotional brain works a lot faster. It almost works in the background and gives you almost an instant idea of something or how you feel, or it gives you signals before it's even happened. And I think that goes, and it sort of ties into the fight or flight thing that a caveman or like a primitive person might have felt. If they walked around the corner and they saw a lion there, like your body would have to do instant things without thinking. Like imagine you had to think in that moment, okay, cool, I need to run fast, I need like I need blood in my legs, I need to do this. Like your brain does switch on, but there's a lot of automatic things that your body has to do without you thinking about. And that's where emotion comes in, is that it's basically, or like you see something and maybe you haven't seen a lion, but maybe you've seen something else. Look, I'm not a neuroscientist, so I mean, I may be slightly wrong here, but I think this makes a lot of sense to me. You see something and maybe like a lion, and now you've seen a leopard, which is very similar, and now you all of a sudden feel scared. And your palms get sweaty, you get blood like sent to your legs, whatever, so you can run away or fight, or you see someone that looks like is approaching you, and you're like, okay, cool, like there's something going on here, like my heart's beating fast, I'm getting ready to either run or to fight. So this is a very natural thing for humans to have, and it's an incredible system. It's not like, it gets stuff wrong, it's not completely logical, but you get the results straight away. And coming back to me, I'm a very emotional person, and I've always seen it as a very negative thing. But in the past year, maybe a bit, since I've started boxing, since I've started trying to get healthy again, I've really began to understand my emotions, understand why they're there, listen to them, and control them to a point. Like even when I started boxing, I was very like jittery and I'd like panic. Where like after practicing and like going through various exercises of like, I mean, one of the exercises that helped me not to panic when I was boxing was just being slapped with a pool noodle. My coach would just fucking hit me with this pool noodle, and it makes a loud noise, and like you see something coming at you, so you got the reaction to like, I want to block it. But like when it actually hits you, it doesn't really hurt. It just like makes a loud noise, but you keep like, and for me doing that over and over again, eventually I got used to it. I'm like, okay, cool. Like I'm not going to panic. And as I've gone on this journey of understanding that you don't have to always act on emotions, my life has really changed. And I'm now beginning to see that being emotional is a superpower. And not acting on those emotions always, necessarily. So the fact that you are emotional means that you have a lot of energy about something. So there may have things in your past that cause your body to have reactions. So the more you can understand those things that have caused those reactions, the more you can understand where your energy comes from. And I think there's like, if you want to do anything in life, you need a lot of energy. And this is why I think it's the biggest blessing being an emotional person, is that you now have energy you can harness. Energy creates things. Energy can force you to do things. It can force you not to do things. And I think as soon as you start to realize that energy is actually your friend, and emotion is your friend, and it makes you human. And there's nothing, I hate it when people call me emotional. Like, because they always sit in such a negative freaking way. And to be honest, being emotional is great. It means that you're alive. You're a human. And if you know how to harness it and listen to it and understand, I mean, like a while ago, my friend Ali, who's also got an amazing YouTube channel, not that all my followers are going to go follow him, it's still new, but Ali spoke to me about, I think it was consciousness or whatever. I think that was the word, but that was the concept of when you have a feeling. I think he said emotion. I don't know if he said emotional feeling, but if you have a feeling, I'm feeling sad or I'm feeling happy or but it's mainly if you're angry or whatever. It's like, okay, cool, like try separate it from yourself, because it's not actually real. It's just something that you personally feel. So if you can look at that emotion, okay, I'm sad today, or I'm happy, or I'm angry. Why am I happy, or why am I sad? And as soon as you can look at it from the outside, which sounds so strange to do, but once you learn how to do that, you're able to, for it not to have power over you, and you're able to redirect that energy in other ways. And for me, boxing has, and this is why I love boxing, and I bring it up in a lot of my videos, is boxing allowed me to deal with my emotion. Because like I used to be like very aggro. I didn't like people disrespecting me. I've always been very gentle with females, but I didn't like males getting in my face. And I'd always want to fight if a male tried to disrespect me. And it has to do a lot of my childhood trauma and stuff like that. But like boxing has taught me that like when I'm angry, I waste energy. I gas out faster. Whereas like if I can control my emotions and stay calm, I don't actually use my energy that much. Like I can preserve it, and that means I can fight for longer without getting tired. And I've just now learned in business, like I've made so many better decisions instead of acting on the emotions. And I love using my emotions as sort of a litmus test. Like if I'm feeling something, or I can feel my heart going, or I can start feeling anxious, or I can start, like I know there's something there, and I have to uncover it. A lot of the time it's nothing serious. Sometimes it is something serious, and sometimes it is something I have to act on. And being able to unpack that and understand it and identify those feelings and that emotions allows me to be a completely different person. And now instead of my emotions being at the wheel, I'm at the wheel, and I'm driving this rocket ship in whichever direction I want to take it. And I've now got this new energy that's sustainable, that I can even call on. I know I can induce feelings or emotions in myself to get things done. If I'm feeling demotivated to work, there's certain things I can think about, and I know what drives me. I know, like, I like proving people wrong. So I can, and I got this from like Michael Jordan, where he was so good. Like, he made up stories in his head that other players had said X things about him to piss him off, so he'd have the energy to go and do it. So I know that, like, if I'm feeling demotivated one day, if I need energy, I just have to have a certain thought process. And now my energy's through the roof, and I'm like, well, fuck it, like, I'm going to go show this person. And now all of a sudden I'm working. And, like, sometimes, like, you work because you want to love, and other times you do it, you don't have that positive energy. You need to use that negative energy. And I think as a practical exercise to sort of, well, not only practical exercise, I think as a way to go through this as a person, first is understanding. Like, once you understand that you do have emotions, why humans have emotions, and that those emotions aren't real. We feel things for different reasons. Like, we have a perception, there's the real world, the physical, like, there's physical things around us, but you have made up your own story and narrative about yourself and about the world around you. And when something that changes, that doesn't fit that narrative, it's very hard to deal with. If someone lies to you or cheats you or something like that, someone you trust, it's like, well, I thought I could trust them. Now I need to think of a new world story or a new world view that hurts now, because now it's not comfortable anymore, and you need action, and that's probably where emotion comes from. And for me, like, I know I spoke about sauna yesterday, and I think it comes down to meditation. I mean, I've really always struggled with meditation. I've got bad ADHD, which will be another video. But for me, the sauna is actually, it helps me meditate, because there's nothing else to do there. I can't have a phone, and, like, it's uncomfortable. So you think you're present and in the moment, which you're not in your mind about other stuff. Turns out today I thought of doing this this video about being emotional and how it's made me a better person and a better business person and a better everything. And I really hope anyone that is an emotional person or struggles with emotions watches this and helps them maybe understand a little bit better. The other thing I also realized with emotions is it is energy. It's like built up energy. And, like, if something happens and you have an emotional response, like you need to fight or flight, like, now it's like all systems go. And in today's world, you're sitting behind a computer, like, you get an email, and, like, now it's like, okay, it's like your body doesn't understand that the person's not there, or you can't fight with the person, or you can't run out the office. Now you're just stuck in your desk with all this energy. And I've realized this now, when someone really pisses me off, I can go for a run around my block, and weirdly enough, actually run faster generally. And I come back and, like, I don't feel that same anger. And I think for me, understanding that you need to now burn that energy off. And this is why exercise is so good. It's you using that energy. And when you use that energy for something constructive, you don't do something negative. You almost, like, trick your body into being like, I am now fighting, or now I'm running away. And not only that, it feels really good to get rid of that energy. So yeah, I definitely think that's why exercise helps so much. I think meditation is great. I think it also allows you to, meditation for me, I always didn't really understand it. But I do realize now is being able to control your mind, because whenever your mind drifts off, you have to bring it back. And that's a skill. So for me, I really like to try, whenever our mind goes to a thought process I don't want, that's going to bring a certain energy, I now can see that, and I can take my mind somewhere else. Like, I'm like, why must I think? I don't have to think that. There's nothing worse than your mind just runs wild and does whatever it wants. Like, I mean, it does naturally, but over time and with meditation of, like, okay, I'm not going to think of anything. I'm not going to do this. Like, you actually learn to be like, okay, I don't want to think about that thing that upsets me, or I do want to think about this. And I think that combined with exercise, for me, boxing's also been huge for me, because like not only like understanding your emotions, but I think like being able to control your emotions is also, and control your fear, because fear also is a big reason that we have emotions. So if you aren't fearful of something, you won't have those sparking emotions. So if something, you don't understand something and it makes you scared, you're going to have a massive emotional spike. And like sometimes it's good, but you don't always want this huge spike. And I don't know if you ever felt like after you've let the emotions out, like your energy feels low. So it's almost like you want to like contain, like your body's got energy within it. And now if it dumps all the energy in one go, now you're stuck without energy for the rest of the day. So there are times you want it to dump, and then other times you want to be at more control. And to be more controlled, you have to understand things. You have to understand that lion in front of you is tame. It's probably not, but like, you know what I mean? Like if a person approaches you, is not a threat, you don't want to be having like a fight or flight response, like, because you understand. So yeah, this was really nice to get this video out, because I'm not gonna lie, like I did my second video yesterday, and I probably did about 30 takes, and I felt terrible that they all sucked, and it was trying to be, I don't know what was wrong with it, but I just wasn't feeling the flow. And I'm just really grateful to get this video out. I can't believe it's now 16 and a half minutes. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about emotions, and if you've experienced anything similar. Like, I've watched some stuff. I love Andrew Huberman. He's been really, really insightful for me. I love listening. I love listening to like good TEDx talks. I love reading up on stuff. So, but I'm not a neuroscientist. I'm not an expert. I can only talk about my life experience, and I'd love to know if any of you guys have felt something similar and how you guys feel about it. Anyway, that's it. It's another podcast from the car. Hope you have a lovely day, and like and subscribe would be really great. And yeah, adios.